Today we're diving deep into what is, honestly, one of the most powerful plays ever written, Eugene O'Neill's Long Day's Journey into Night. And this is so much more than just a play. It's O'Neill basically putting his own family's trauma on stage for the world to see. It's a single, brutal day in the life of a family that's completely unraveling, all thanks to memory, regret, and a cycle of blame they just can't escape.
And this line right here, this is the whole story. It's spoken by the mother, Mary, and it is the absolute soul of the play. The past is the present, isn't it? It's the future too. Just think about that. For this family, the Tyrones, yesterday isn't over. It's happening right now, in the living room, poisoning every single word they say. Their past isn't just a memory, it's a ghost that lives with them, and it has already decided what their tomorrow will look like.
So let's really get into that idea of a haunting past. The whole play, all this drama, happens in just one day, from morning to midnight. We're watching this family who are, for all intents and purposes, prisoners, not just in their house, but in their own shared history.
And what are they dealing with here? I mean, look at this list. It is heavy. But the key thing to understand is that none of these wounds exist on their own. It's all connected. It's a tangled, messy web where everything is both a cause and an effect. Mary's addiction is tied to her husband James's cheapness, which in turn fuels their son's drinking, which does nothing to help Edmund's illness. You see, every time one of them pulls on a thread, the whole knot just gets tighter.
So you have to ask, how does a family possibly live like this? How do they even get through a single day? Well, the short answer is they don't, not in any healthy way. Instead, they all use these psychological shields, what we call defense mechanisms. They live in denial, pretending problems aren't real. And they use projection, which is basically the art of blaming someone else for your own issues. It might get them through the next 10 minutes, but it absolutely guarantees that nothing will ever get better.
And that brings us to how they fight. Now, for most of us, memories can be a source of comfort, right? You think about good times. Not for the Tyrones. For them, memory is an arsenal. Their past isn't something to look back on fondly, it's a collection of grievances, an armory of pain that they use to wound each other in every single argument.
And you can see two totally different but equally destructive ways this plays out. First, you've got Mary. For her, the past is an escape hatch. She floats away into these idealized, perfect memories of her life as a young girl in a convent, because anything is better than facing the reality of her addiction right now. Then you have her husband, James. He doesn't escape to the past, he wields it like a club. He constantly brings up his own impoverished childhood to justify being a miser and to attack his sons for being weak and ungrateful.
You know, O'Neill himself put it perfectly. He said his characters were trapped within each other by the past. But this next part, this is what really gets me. He said they were each guilty and at the same time innocent. How can you be both? Well, that's the tragedy. They're all victims of what came before, but they're also the ones actively continuing the damage. They're both the prisoners and the prison guards.
And that right there is the engine that drives this entire play. This vicious, unending cycle of blame. In the Tyrone house, guilt is like a hot potato. Nobody can stand to hold on to it for more than a second. The moment they feel shame, they toss that blame onto the nearest person. It is always someone else's fault. And you can literally map it out. It's a perfect closed loop. Mary can't face her morphine addiction, so she blames James. His stinginess led to the cheap doctor who prescribed it. James feels guilty for selling out his acting talent for a steady paycheck, so he takes all that bitterness out on his oldest son, Jamie, for being a drunken failure. And Jamie is just drowning in self-loathing and jealousy. He actually admits he's been trying to corrupt his younger brother, Edmund, so he won't be the only failure in the family. It just goes round and round and round. No one ever has to look in the mirror.
Okay, so as this terrible day wears on and evening approaches, something starts to happen. The family's defenses start to crumble. The arguments get crueler, the drinking gets heavier, and a thick, dense fog begins to roll in off the water. And believe me, this isn't just a weather report. This fog is the most powerful symbol in the play. It's the physical manifestation of their confusion, their isolation, and their desperate wish to disappear.
And Mary just comes right out and says it. The fog, it hides you from the world and the world from you. No one can find or touch you anymore. That's it. That's what they all secretly want, to be numb, to be hidden, to be unreachable. As that fog literally surrounds the house, each member of the family sinks deeper into their own private internal fog of booze, drugs, and regret.
By the end of the play, the family as a unit, well, it's completely gone. What we're left with are 4 completely isolated people on their own separate journeys into darkness. Mary is lost in a morphine dream, talking to ghosts. James is drunk, slurring his regrets about the career he gave up. Jamie makes his horrific, soul-bearing confession about his brother. And Edmund is left all alone to contemplate his own death. They're all in the same room, but they might as well be on different planets. The fog has hidden them from each other for good.
So after all of that, what's the takeaway? The real tragedy of the Tyrones is that it all feels so inevitable. You get the sense that this day has happened before and it will happen again tomorrow. They love each other. That's the most heartbreaking part. But that love is so twisted up with resentment that they are utterly incapable of breaking the patterns that are destroying them.
And it all comes down to this one simple, brutal truth. They're trapped. They are bound to a past that they can't forget, but also that they can't forgive. And if you can't do either of those things, where does that leave you? It leaves you stuck in a loop, forced to relive your worst moments, your biggest mistakes, over and over again, forever.
And that leaves us with a pretty haunting question to think about for ourselves. The Tyrones are destroyed because they cannot let go of the past. It really makes you wonder about our own lives, doesn't it? Are we defined by the memories we cling to? Or maybe, are we defined by the things we find the strength to forgive and choose to forget? It's a tough one, and it's the question O'Neill leaves hanging in the air, swirling in that fog, long after the curtain falls.